now recognize the gentlewoman from Arizona, Ms. Lesko.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a very important issue. Thank you to all of you for being here today. In my state of Arizona, and I represent the Phoenix area and some of the suburbs of Phoenix, we're rapidly growing. We're adding and expanding microchip, semiconductor chip factories, including the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, which is located in my district. Lucid Motors, which manufactures electric vehicles, and many other businesses are flocking to Arizona, quite frankly, from California. I'm told by our power generators we have sufficient energy capacity now, but in 2 to 3 years, they may not have the firm capacity needed for our growing state. The current administration is prioritizing intermittent energy sources like solar and wind over baseload energy sources like natural gas. I believe we need both, and I believe we need to continue to invest in new technologies. Second, the EPA and some radical environmentalists will simply not allow firm generation to be built. The Wall Street investors in renewables reap rich financial rewards and benefits of being on the grid, but they don't share any of the responsibility of keeping the lights on. An area I think this committee must fix is the broken market system the ISOs and RTOs have developed, which does not prioritize or incentivize grid reliability. Renewable subsidies have so distorted the market that we are building renewable projects that would not be built without subsidies. FERC Commissioner James Danley testified before this committee and said, given the market failures that the Commission's actions have facilitated, there will be in time a catastrophic reliability event. If FERC continues to fail in its duty to ensure power price formation, that will be the inevitable result. Both MISO and ISO New England have warned about upcoming scarcity, and PJM, the nation's largest wholesale market, and the one that serves Washington, D.C., has recently raised the alarm about impending shortfalls. Commissioner Danley also said in the midst of PJM's dire warnings, somehow the prices in its procurement auction at a time of impending scarcity went down. This represents an abject and obvious market failure. With price signals such as these, it will be impossible for the markets to attract the investment needed to ensure resource adequacy. Mr. Bresler, my first question is, the subsidies renewables receive allow them to bid into your market at prices below their costs. How have subsidies distorted price formation in PJM?
Certainly, prices in the markets are lower than they would otherwise be without those resources offers. However, our first and foremost priority and responsibility is reliability, and we believe markets will continue to support reliability because when resources are necessary in order to maintain reliability in the future, despite the additions that we have seen on the system, to the extent that the resources that are coming on are accredited with the right reliability value, those markets will signal the need for additional resources and will signal the need for investment.
Well, I hope you're right, and thanks for working on that, because obviously everybody wants affordable, reliable energy, and they want to keep the lights on. And I think that's why we're having this conversation today, because we hear these alarms out there that we're not going to have the grid reliability that we need. My next question is for Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller, I've heard repeatedly how inexpensive renewable energy is. The California Energy Commission in 2022 said 59% of the state's electricity came from renewables and zero carbon sources in 2020. I'm curious, if renewables are so inexpensive, why are California electricity prices so high?
Well, I think the issue that you're looking at is the combination of what is the total delivered cost, looking at the energy market itself. Renewables are obviously coming in at very low prices given the low fuel or no fuel costs associated with them. We do not control retail rates, but overall retail rates take into account all of the above issues, including energy costs, transmission, and distribution costs. And certainly California has also had to experience additional other costs that weren't energy related, dealing with issues like wildfire hardening and other activities that have also put a lot of stress on our utilities for additional reinforcement and hardening of facilities. But the ISO doesn't have a direct role in retail rates. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bresler, firm dispatchable generation, either natural gas, nuclear, or coal.
I'm sorry.
Oh, am I out
We're
of
gonna
time?
move on.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. The
I
chair,
got
yeah, the